Happy New Year's, big dogs. Bitcoin soars above $45,000 with an impending Bitcoin spot ETF approval this week. BlackRock names JP Morgan as their authorized market participant in their spot Bitcoin ETF. Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced founder and former CEO of the FTX exchange, gets 6 charges dropped. And the last thing that we're going to be going over, and probably the biggest pieces of news, are we're going to go over a 2023 market recap as well as what to expect for 2024, because we have a lot of important things coming up here in 2024 that are going to impact our financial markets. So make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone, I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started, it's going to be late Monday, January 1st. So happy New Year's to you guys. I appreciate you guys taking your guys' time to watch my videos. The total market cap right now for all cryptocurrencies is $1.76 trillion. So we did go above that $1.75 trillion. Possible $2 trillion incoming. Again, anything I say should be not considered as financial advice, and you guys should do your guys' own independent research. But right now, we are currently up 5.81% on the total market for all cryptocurrencies. Fear and greed index right now, we are at a 73. We could see another extreme greed here very shortly. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $45,597. Ethereum $2,402, and XRP right now at 63.68 cents. Getting into our biggest gainers and losers on the day today. Biggest gainers, we got ASTR right now is going to be up 18.5%. We got SEI right now currently up 17.8%, and then we have NEAR right now up 17.5%. One of my favorite cryptocurrencies, though, XRP is my favorite, but another one of my favorites is HBAR, currently trading at 9.83 cents. We did reach a high of 9.94 cents. Could we see a possible 10-cent here in the next week? I think so. But again, make sure you guys do your guys' own independent research. Biggest losers on the day today, we got BSV currently down 9.6%. We got HNTs down 5.7%, and then we have HEX right now down 5.1%. It sucks to see XDC down here. They had a nice run up earlier this week with some news, and that's what I think the reason why they are not as a big gainer right now. Getting into our channel update, though, it's been exactly 1 year since I created Big Dog Investing in my YouTube channel, and I want to say thank you guys. I do currently have 437 subscribers. My last video that I posted, we had 1.2K views. So I'm hoping to get more followers this year. We do have some videos that have 25 views, 151, 28. So we do have some video suppression, in my opinion, because I do talk about some things that are a little bit controversial. And I think that their algorithm gets screwed around a little bit because I don't hold back with a lot of things. So again, I appreciate you guys who do watch my videos. And again, if you guys have not subscribed, I would really appreciate that. But we've come a long way with my channel, and we'll see what 2024 has in store for us. Jeremy Hogan shares a little bit of a countdown, so I want to do a little bit of like a ball drop here on my YouTube channel. But we have 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year 2024. Let's see what 2024 has in store for all of us. Hopefully it's in the green. Getting in some news, though, that's going to impact our financial markets. One of the biggest things is our presidential election. So in 2024, we have a presidential election calendar, some important dates to look out for. Realistically, we just got to wait till July 15th through the 18th. That's when the Republican convention is. And then August 19th through the 22nd, because that's when the Democratic convention is. So those are the two big important dates where we're going to see who's going to be the Republican nominee and the Democratic nominee. And then we have some presidential debates, a vice presidential debate to look forward to. And then we have the presidential election on November 5th. So that's going to be the voting day. And then electoral votes come out on December 17th. So hopefully we can see exactly what's going on and maybe see a good president sitting in our office again. Do your guys' own independent research on who you guys want for a candidate. Looking into our candidates, though, who's running for president? Democrats right now, we have Biden, Williamson, and Phillips. Obviously, right now, our president right now is President Biden. It's surprising to see that other people are going to be trying to run against him, because normally it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you're a sitting president and you want to run for re-election, normally your party does not allow anyone to run against you. And this is why one of the independent party members, Kennedy right here, he ended up being a Democrat and then swapped to independent so he can be on the ballot. Republicans right now, currently running for president, we have Trump, Haley, Ramaswamy, his last name's really hard, Hutchinson, Binkley, DeSantis, and Christie. Independents, we talked about Kennedy, West, Stein, and we have some dropouts: Soars, Hurd, Johnston, Elder, Pence, Scott, and Burgum. Again, so if you guys want to do your guys' research on some of those individuals and who you feel should be the best person for our country, and that's who you guys should actually go out and vote for. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but do your guys' research. That's what I can tell you guys to do. Another thing that's going to impact financial markets, mainly with cryptocurrency, is the halving cycle. So for those of you guys that don't know, you guys mine Bitcoin, or people mine Bitcoin. There's mining pools, and the amount of Bitcoin that can be mined gets cut in half every 4 years. So Bitcoin halving is going to be in April of 2024. They don't have an exact date, but right now, currently, we can mine 6.25 Bitcoin, and that's going to be dropped down to 3.125. So this is going to drastically reduce the amount of supply that's going to be available. And as demand increases and supply decreases, this is where we're going to get a price increase, in my opinion, because the charts have been showing this. In 2012, for the Bitcoin halving cycle, it was trading around $16. At 2016 halving, most Bitcoin was trading about 256 to 1,024 range. At 2020 halving cycle, we saw a $4,000 to a $16,000 Bitcoin range. And then could we see at 2024 a 16 to a 65,000 Bitcoin range? Right now we're currently at $45,000, but where would we see Bitcoin in the next 4 years after this halving cycle? Is it going to drop, or is it going to keep on going up as institutional money gets flowing through it? So the countdown for a spot Bitcoin ETF is happening. So there's been a lot of lawsuits with the SEC's Securities Exchange Commission, with Gary Gensler running it. And with a spot Bitcoin ETF, this is where individuals, like investors, like your average people, can go in and buy it without actually owning the asset, kind of like owning a stock. You basically just use an exchange for it, and they end up holding whatever asset it is, and then you guys can sell it at any point. With cryptocurrency, it's a little bit different. They don't have this. A spot Bitcoin ETF will be considered a security, but all cryptocurrencies right now are considered not securities unless they've been deemed by a court, or if the SEC wants to file a lawsuit, then there's the label that it's a security. But we saw with the Ripple versus the SEC case that the XRP token was deemed not a security by Judge Annalisa Torres, who ruled XRP in and of itself is not a security, and those were her words. So we're going to see a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Speculation it is going to happen this week. We'll talk about that here in just a second. And then also, one of the biggest indicators, and this is the reason why I think that we did see a nice increase in the last month for not just cryptocurrency, but stock market, S&P 500, NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, is the possible rate cut. So the Fed held a FOMC meeting in December, and based on that, they decided that they're going to pause interest rates one more time for 2023. But then Fed Chair Jerome Powell indicated that there should be 3 more rate cuts coming in 2024, and that gave investor confidence for the markets, and we saw an influx of money flow through the stock market and cryptocurrency market. Getting into some of our news, though, California is projected to be $68 billion in debt to start 2024. And then on January 1st, California will offer health insurance to a certain group of individuals who should not be. They're undocumented in our country, and they're going to get free health insurance. So basically, your taxpayer dollars, if you live in California, because this is just California, is going to your taxpayer dollars are going to be going to fund this healthcare program, as well as being $68 billion in debt. And there's speculation that this is going to cost about $3 billion every single year. Bitcoin did break about $45,000 today. We saw that right now, 45,600 and something dollars right now. And then one of the big things right here, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin's bashing is a do as I say, not as I do situation, as the largest U.S. bank agrees to play a key role in BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF. So we saw a video, if you guys have been watching my channel, on January 6th, JP Morgan's CEO Jamie Dimon said he would close down Bitcoin and crypto if he were the government. So if he says this in a testimony, a congressional meeting, Elizabeth Warren, for all instance, she's the one that asked this question. So you just saw her pop up for a quick second. It just, I don't know, it's not doing it really well. But she asked a question about what she thinks or what he thinks about cryptocurrency being used for fraud and everything else, and it's just a mess. And he basically answers, we should get rid of it. If I was the government, I would ban it. But now they're playing a key role in BlackRock as their authorized participant for its Bitcoin spot ETF. So it's kind of crazy to see that's going on. And then for those of you guys that don't know, we saw earlier this year, Elizabeth Warren, she has a huge war on crypto. We'll talk about how she's not even doing that war on crypto, what should actually be going on. But she ended up holding a meeting with Gary Gensler, and did a congressional meeting, and she was asking him questions and he was answering them right away. And then she had a rebuttal and he would answer right away. Well, it turned out there was a little bit of, conspiracy going on with her and Gary Gensler. So for those of you guys that don't know, John Deaton is a lawyer, and he's on X, which I get a lot of my information from for my channel, and says that her job is to provide and engage in actual oversight of the SEC. Instead, she conspired with a close friend, Gary Gensler, not only giving him the exact questions she would ask before a hearing, but also the suggested answers to those questions. This isn't oversight, it's fraudulent. Coach testimony before Congress. She literally said that she didn't want to place Gensler in a tough spot. Are you fucking kidding me? The lawyer explained. Her job is to place the chairman of the SEC in a tough spot, asking hard hitting questions or tough questions. And I agree with this. You know, obviously we see, her cozying up to certain individuals more so than others. And then also we saw her net worth increase drastically while she's in office. So, there's a little bit of conspiracy stuff that's been going on with that. Coinbase says that they're extensively prepared for the spot Bitcoin ETF approval. Stock market's been down. The SEC's been shut down for Thursday and Friday for the holidays. And with this, they haven't been able to do a whole lot. But there is speculation that the SEC may notify issuers. So these are the individuals like Fidelity, BlackRock, Citadel, who have all filed for a Bitcoin spot ETF. Those are the issuers about spot ETF approval as soon as Tuesday or Wednesday. So tomorrow or Wednesday, we might see this, and Routers is reporting that. Um, Galaxy CEO and spot Bitcoin ETF applicant, so they are also one of the issuers, says big things coming. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation this is going on, and in my opinion, this is the main reason why I think that the price of Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies went up drastically today. But Eleanor Tourette wants us to be take a step back and think about things. And it says, while the SEC is surely um, unpredictable, it would surprise me if approvals were to happen tomorrow. From what I understand, though, conversations I've had with issuers, the SEC still has to review all the changes made in the S1 filings on Thursday and Friday and make comments on them. If the SEC follows a similar approved line for the ETF futures, so not the spot, but the futures of Ethereum in October, the agency will, after this round of reviews, communicate to the issuers a date they want to finalize the S1s to be filed and make them effective in the substantial 24 to 48 hours. SEC staff has been off since Friday, so a Tuesday or Wednesday approval seems tight, but we shall see. Regardless, the next 2 weeks will be exciting for crypto. And I agree with that. It is going to be exciting. Could we see it tomorrow? Yeah, we could. But could we also see it maybe Thursday or Friday? Yeah, we could see that too. So that's why I said in the video we could see it by the end of the week. Now, Gary Gensler, he's the head of the SEC. He's the chairman. He's not the only person he's the only person that's the head of the SEC, but they have other commissioners on the SEC. But he wants to come out and do his little videos and stuff and says that for 2024, they want to protect investors, facilitate capital formation, and then maintain fair, orderly, and effective markets. But in 2024, he says, we plan to build on everything we worked on in 2023. Here's a quick look at some of what we were going to work on to ensure that the markets work for you. And I wanted to point this out really quick, like cybersecurity and yes, like the crypto market. So at 1 minute and 39 seconds, he has a little something to say about cryptocurrency. He's been getting demolished in court. He had him and the SEC had to apologize to the courts last week. An embarrassment that they basically tried to kind of change testimony to make it look like a crypto exchange was doing some shady business. And it turns out that the SEC was the one doing that to try to freeze assets from that. And then they got ridiculed, and they now to apologize to the courts and trying to beg the judge not to put sanctions on the SEC. Vitalik Buterin shares a blueprint or a roadmap for 2023 for Ethereum. So if you guys want to read about this, you guys can. I'm not a huge Ethereum fan, never bought it, never will. But that's just my personal take on it with ETHgate and everything else. If you guys follow that, you guys can. You guys can also do some independent research because there's a lot of information. Video would take about 3 hours to talk about ETHgate. Hedera has released an additional 16,492,939 HBAR tokens from their max supply, bringing the total amount released to 67.26%. So we have a lot of tokens right now currently in circulation. And then we see that the Hedera Foundation currently probably still owns roughly about 32.5% right now of their actual Hedera tokens that they can sell into the markets as they please. And that's what they use to fund their operations. Sam Bankman-Fried donated $100 million of stolen consumer or customer funds to U.S. politicians. Today, the U.S. government announced they're dropping 6 charges against SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and will not prosecute him for political campaign finance violations. To me, this is a mockery of the courts. We see that the Department of Justice is the one that basically decided that they're going to pull this back, drop those charges. Well, he's getting charged with other things. It's really not that big of a deal. Well, it is a big deal. Who did he lend this money to? And there's a lot of speculation on why they're not going to be having this trial, because a lot of big names will be released. If you guys can see right here, though, you guys can see it's not just Democrats, but also Republicans were donated money to. Obviously, the majority of the money, though, is going into Democratic campaign finances. But we do see some Republicans here, and if you guys want to do independent research, you can actually find some big names on this. John Deaton, though, we talked about him earlier, says, ask yourself why this case is being dropped in an election year. During the fraud trial, Caroline Emerson, so that was his girlfriend at the time, she was the research person over at Alameda Research, and she testified that Sam Bankman-Fried gave the Biden administration $10 million, and the reason he told her was to buy access. So she testified that in front of court, so I'm not making this stuff up. He also got 2 personal meetings with Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC. Again, he did not stop the frauds that were going on over at FTX. Didn't have any of that, but obviously it's the wild west of crypto. Yet you can't come out and find the biggest fraud in crypto, which was Sam Bankman-Fried, and several others with the SEC staff. He got to speak with the CFTC commissioners, and then also Rep. Maxine Waters and others in the FSC. Who did he get to meet on the Senate Banking Committee? Elizabeth Warren and Sherrod Brown. Did you have a meeting also with that person? What a joke the DOJ has become. And we want to point that out because obviously Elizabeth Warren cozied up to Gary Gensler, who had meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried. And did she receive money? We don't know, and we won't ever find out, in my opinion, because they're dropping these charges. And then if you guys want to, you guys can see this little video right here. This is Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and she blows Sam Bankman-Fried a kiss. Yet he's the one that was dropping these, lost about $8 billion of consumer funds, and with the FTX collapse, but she's blowing him kisses and everything else and cozying up to him. Paul Grewal, who's the chief legal officer over at Coinbase, has a few thoughts on the DOJ's decision not to pursue campaign finance charges against Sam Bankman-Fried. I think it's a mistake. Line prosecutors and supervisors have far more information on the case than anyone on the outside ever will, so I'm always reluctant to second guess an agency filled with good people trying to do the right thing. Resources and efficiency, as well as the issues with the extradition, are worthy considerations in weighing a second trial against a man who should go away for a long time either way. That said, I think that it's a miscarriage of justice. The public interest in a public airing of charges against always matter. Campaign finance charges are at the very top of the list. What politicians and others knew what and when are critical questions that deserve answers. Dropping this on Friday night before a holiday only fuels public cynics and about the politicians of of all of this. Damn shame, and this is the end of the thread. And I agree with this. Obviously there's a lot going on, but this is an election year, like John Deaton pointed out. Like, there's going to be a lot of information that would get pulled up, and they didn't want the public's eye on this case. So hopefully we can see some independent research done on this, and maybe enough public backlash that they actually bring the charges back. And then the last thing that we're going to be going over is a little bit of a recap of 2023. Biggest thing, in my opinion, was for anyone who owns XRP, and was my biggest, was the U.S. judge rules XRP is not a security. Judge Annalisa Torres, and XRP in of itself is not a security. Those were her exact words. $10 trillion asset manager BlackRock officially files for a spot Bitcoin ETF and also Ethereum. We'll see a Bitcoin ETF probably by the end of the week. BlackRock CEO says crypto is the digital gold and Bitcoin is an international asset. So we're going to see institutional money flowing through. Sam Bankman-Fried found guilty on all charges. Elon Musk tells advertisers who are going to try to blackmail him to go fuck themselves. Russia to use Chinese yen instead of US dollar to settle trade with Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says crypto appears to have a strong staying power as an asset class. CZ, the head of Binance, had to resign as CEO. Coinbase relists Ripple, which is XRP. So they don't relist Ripple, they relist the XRP token. A lot of people get that confused. Ripple is a company. Chinese yen overtakes US dollar as most used currency in China's cross-border payments. I want to see where we were at in time. Transactions for the first time in history. Saudi Arabia enters a trade alliance with China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and 4 Central Asian nations to step further away from a reliance on the US dollar. Argentina President Javier Milei plans to replace the peso with the US dollar and shut down central banks. Turkish crypto exchange CEO sentenced to 11,196 years in prison for stealing $2 billion in consumer funds. SEC drops lawsuit against Ripple XRP executives Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. Crypto asset manager Grayscale wins lawsuit against the SEC. This is one of the biggest things that we are seeing, why the Bitcoin spot ETF approval has to happen soon. Coinbase sues SEC seeking regulatory clarity for all cryptocurrency in the industry. We should have saw this earlier, in my opinion. Obviously, with the Ripple versus the SEC case, we should have saw the likes of Coinbase and other exchanges go after the SEC, but they kind of just had their hands tied until they got sued. El Salvador president officially signs bill eliminating all taxes on income, property, and capital gains for technology innovations. Hong Kong court recognizes cryptocurrency as property. Chinese property giant Everglade files for bankruptcy. Terra founder Do Kwon arrested in Montenegro. U.S. government arrests SafeMoon founder John Kearney, Kyle Nagy, and Thomas Smith. BlackRock names JP Morgan as an authorized participant for its spot Bitcoin ETF. And then the last thing, UK government plans to establish new digital asset legislation and make the country a crypto hub. Hopefully we can see the United States as a crypto hub in 2024. Thank you guys for tuning in into the end of my video. Hopefully 2024 brings you guys nothing but joy, excitement, have a great time, health, and your guys' family. And let's hopefully try to make some money while doing so. If you guys can invest with a big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.